Yo, how is it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be discussing about question set number 32. So this the continuation of the question set number 31. So here's the first part. You can just pause the video right here and take a look at this question. So here's the first part, and here's the second part, and here's the third part. So hope you guys read the question. Pause the video and read the question. So let me explain to you what this means. So in the last video we have created these tables, user table, which has the primary key user ID, the first name, last name, contact number, and status as the columns of the user table. So same goes to gender. So gender table has gender ID and gender name, and user type type table has user type ID and user type name, and system login has login ID as its primary key, and username and password. So I forgot to mention that user type ID is the primary key of user type table. So that's that. So the address ID is the primary key of address table, and city ID is the primary key of city table. So here's the diagram of the tables which we have created in the 31st video, and let's jump right into the second video. So the first question suggests that we have to create a product table. So let me copy this and select T here and select give the table name product table, and the primary key of that table is product ID, which will auto increment each time we add a new record. So the next column is product name, which has the data length 45, and the data type is varchar, which takes a string value. So that's that. So the description is the data type is text. So text is like for storing large data types. This also takes the data type string. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So yeah, and you could use like a default expression to this, since if nobody decides to add like a description for the product for a certain product, you could have the hyphen as a default expression as the default value for that. So yeah, and that answers our first question. So the second, let's move on to the second question. So let me press T to create a table, and select give the table name brand, and the column name is brand ID, which will auto increment on each instance, and the next column is brand name, and let me give this not null. Let me check the not null box, and yeah, the data type is varchar. So that wraps up the second question. So the third question suggests that we have to create a table called grn. So let me press T and give the table name grn. The primary key of this table is grn ID, which will auto increment on each time we add a new grn. And now we have another data type which is called temporal. So temporal means temporal data types are like data types that associated with keeping time. So this grn date column keeps both the date and the time of each time of a grn of a issued. So grn date keeps like the issued date of a grn, issued date and time of a grn. So So that's that, and we have to check the not null box. And you could also, if you want to only keep the date, you could specify this as date, and if you want to only keep time, you could only specify this as another data type. So these are like three data types. So for this instance, we are gonna be both keeping date and time, so we have to specify this as date type. So that answers the third question. So the first question suggests that we have to make another table named grn item. Let me press T to create a table and select this as grn item. Make sure there are no any other spaces. So okay, make sure there aren't any spaces in creating those tables. So as for the columns of grn, they are like quantity. Okay, so from here you couldn't see any grn any primary key for grn item, so there must be something wrong with this question, because in the in another question the set in the future question set number 2 and set 33 there, so we have to create relationship between grn and gr item. So for that, for to create relationship, you there must be like a primary key for each table. So I'm gonna create a grn, I'm gonna make a column called grn id and give this, and make this as the primary key of grn item table. So yeah, let me do this as grn item id to be better. And for the quantity, we will make this as int, and make this, check this not null box. And for the unit price, okay, we discover a new data type here. So double means we are keeping decimal points. We are storing whole numbers with decimal points. So in other words, we are keeping like float up to 2 decimal points. So that's that. And the next column is selling price, which is also we are keeping up to 2 decimal points with double. So yeah, and grn item is the item table is done. So I have finished the fourth question, and the fifth question suggests that we have to make a table called stock table, and the primary key of stock table is stock id, which will auto increment. And the next column is quantity, and quantity is kept in integer. So quantity is like a whole number, so no decimal points here, and the data type is integer. And the selling price is, the next column is selling price. Selling price is kept in double. Double means you are keeping only up to 2 decimal points. So that's that. So I think I have created the stock table and the relevant columns of the stock table, and that answers the fifth question. The sixth question suggests that we have to create a table called invoice. So let me close here and make a new table named invoice, which has the primary key invoice id, which will auto increment, and then Now we have another column date as the date time, which takes the data type date time. So okay, let me okay, I'm confused whether this only stores date or both stores date and time. So okay, so I will leave it as mentioned in the question without making any changes to this. So previously I have known for sure you have to make like a an item id to store id to create relationship, so that so for that reason I changed that. So but this I cannot make sure. So for this I cannot be sure, so for that I'm leaving as it is. So that answers the sixth question. And the seventh question suggests that we have to create a table called invoice item, which will store okay invoice item, right? Invoice item which will store invoice items. So items of invoice in each of each invoice. So the quantity is kept in integer, I think. Yeah, the data type is int, and we have to check the not null box. And so these are the tables which we have created in this question. So there are like six of them. So first one is product, which has the columns product id, product name, and description. And the second one is brand table, which has the columns brand id and brand name, which is this. And third column has the table columns grn id and grn date. So grn id and grn date. The fourth question has the table grn item, which has which we added the primary key grn item id and stock id. No. Okay, quantity, unit price, and selling price. Quantity, unit price, and selling price. And for the stock table, haven't I created a stock table? Okay, so I will stop there for a bit. So the stock table is this: integer, stock id, quantity, and selling price. So here are the columns. And for the invoice table we have invoice id and date, and for the final table invoice item we have invoice item id and quantity, which are this. So I mean you can like label this to make like real nice table labels, which you could do by selecting here. And let me label this as customer, and then this as product. Let me change the color here to here. And yeah, so yeah, I think that wraps up the video. So to make sure this we have so the changes we have made to this ER diagram stays permanent, you have to select the database here. And since we are not doing this for the first time, don't select forward engineering, select synchronize model and leave as it is, leave as it is, and click next. Okay, so what seems to be the error? Okay, description cannot have a default value. I think it is in here, right? So let me remove this. So I think you cannot have some data types with default expression. So yeah, my bad for that. So let me refresh this, and you can see so what we have created. So we have created like product table, right? Product brand. So here's the product table, and here's the brand table, and so on and so forth. So thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you again next time. Peace.